You see, there is such this trend. I pastor in Las Vegas. And it's an interesting place to pastor. Amazing people. This is what I loved pastoring. One thing I loved about Las Vegas pastoring there is they're a group of people and they're open for anything. They're up for anything. They come there for an experience. They want an experience. Often they're looking for an experience in the negative. But if we get them first, they're open for anything. And we saw incredible things happen in Las Vegas because it's a bunch of broken people that just want a crazy experience. We just gave them a crazy experience with Jesus. I ran a school of ministry, and I would have the school of ministry, literally, I saw a vision one time. And the Lord showed me, and it was after an encounter with 2 young homeless men. I got approached within 15 minutes of 2 young homeless men. Actually, I should tell them that story. It's such a good story. We have a prophetic conference every year, and I have an information table for the School of Ministry, and I was going to Target, really spiritual, and I was going to get, props for my table. And I go into Target, and I couldn't find anything I wanted. I walk out to the parking lot to get into my car, and this young man, about 19 or 20 years old, runs across the parking lot. He's like, "Ma'am, ma'am." And I was on the phone with my friend, and I didn't know him, and I didn't know if he was talking to me or not, so I put down my phone. I said to my friend, "Hold on real fast." And I said, "Are you talking to me?" And he says, "Yes, I'm talking to you." And he goes, "Can you get me something to eat? I'm starving. Can you get me something to eat?" And I looked at him and I go, "Absolutely." I go, "Well, what do you want?" He goes, "I'll eat anything." I go, "Well," because we're in a Target, there's like a shopping plaza there. And I said, "Well, there's a Baja Fresh right over there." I go, I'll drive over to Baja Fresh. You walk over there and meet me, and I'm happy to buy you some dinner. And he said, "Okay." So I go over there, and we walk in, and I say, "What's your name?" He says, "My name's Kyle." I said, "Kyle, what's going on with you?" And he said, "Well, I'm homeless, and this happened, and he just kind of gave me his life story. And we're at the cash register, and I'm just kind of listening, and then the lady's ready to take his order, and he's like, "Okay, I'll take 1 taco and a water." And I was like, "Oh, no. My God's not a 1 taco God. My God is like steak fajitas, and he's like extra chips, guacamole, large drink, and a cookie if you want it. That's my God. That's my God." And the kid looks at me and he's like, "What?" I go, No. I go, "You asked the right person for dinner. You're going to get the best, because my God, my Jesus wants to give you the best. My Jesus isn't a 1 taco Jesus. My Jesus is steak and fajitas. Like, my Jesus is incredible. He's above and beyond. My Jesus is a lavisher. My God doesn't just meet your minimum needs. He goes above and beyond. That's who my God is." And he's like, "Well, okay." I go, if you don't want the steak fajitas, don't get them. But if you want that, in Baja Fresh World, that's the best. He's like, "Oh, I want that." So he orders it, and it takes about 10 minutes to make that. In that 10 minutes, I begin to hear a story of brokenness, discouragement, poor decisions, and absolutely no direction. And I begin to prophesy over this young man. As he was talking, the Lord was just downloading things about his childhood, his teenage years. And I began to speak to this young man. As tears began to roll down his cheeks, I said, "Isn't it time you think you gave Jesus a chance?" He goes, "Christa, I've tried that before." And I said, "Don't you think it's time you try it again?" He said, "Yeah." Took some time, led him to the Lord. Incredible. I'm walking out and I'm like, "Yes, I love that. That's awesome." I love it when the everyday happens. Those people that will never walk through the doors of a church, you just encounter them and it's awesome. I drive across town, like 15 minutes, I go to Michael's. I'm looking for products for my table still. Didn't find anything. I realize I'm running late, having a meeting at the church. I'm running out to my car, not on my phone this time, it's dusk. It's kind of dark. Walk outside, I hear this voice, "Ma'am, ma'am." And I look around, can't make out anyone. And I hear, "Ma'am, ma'am." And I'm like, what in the world? And I see this black form sitting on a curb. I go over, and it's a person. I couldn't even tell if it was a guy or girl. Covered, all dressed in black, hood on, like I couldn't make it out. I bent down and said, Are you talking to me?" And this young man pulls back his hood. He's like, "Yes." He's like, "I'm so hungry. Can you get me something to eat?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." I'm like, "Why don't you walk over to this gas mart with me and I'm happy to buy you some dinner. And he said to me, I'm not allowed in there anymore. I said, okay, well, how about you stay here, and you tell me what you want, I'll go get it, and I'll bring it back to you. And he said, okay, that's fine. I said, what do you want? He wouldn't give me any specifics. So I said, okay, well, I'll go pick something out for you. Is that okay? He said, okay. So I go over there, and I'm trying to hurry, and as I walk through the door, I said, God, I want this to be really personal. I don't want to just get him whatever. I want to get him what he loves. Like, I want to get him what he likes. I don't know what he likes, but you're his father, and you know what he likes. So the Lord's like, grab a bag. And so I got a bag from the cashier, and I literally felt like the Lord was leading me through the store, as crazy as it sounds. And he was like, he likes this, he likes this, he likes this, he likes this. And I just was grabbing it. And the Lord's like, fill the bag. Fill the bag. And I was like, okay. Because God was like, I'm an above and beyond God. He's expecting like a little sandwich and a granola bar and a soda. But I'm going to fill this bag because that's who I am. So I go and I'm like trying to hurry because I'm afraid he's going to leave. And I run back and he's sitting there and I'm like, yes. So I go back there and I put the food down and I said, I felt like this is what Jesus wanted to get you. He wanted to get you above and beyond. He didn't want to just feed you right now, but he wanted to feed you. I said, but more importantly than food, I want to talk to you about Jesus. And I said, he's my best friend. And I just began to share who Jesus is with this young man. He said, Christa, I've already tried Jesus. It didn't work for me. And I said to him, don't you think it's time you try again? And I began to prophesy over this young man. His name is David. And David and Kyle, two young men, 19, 20 years old, both homeless, both starving, both asking me to get them something. And when I asked both of them what they wanted, they said, I'll eat anything. And when I went back to my car, I began to weep. And I said, God, why are you showing me this? Because it felt so prophetic. And I said, this is so significant. And the Lord said, I'm showing you the heart of a generation that is so hungry and so starving, they'll eat anything. But he said, who's going to feed them first? The world or you?